They say a man can be defined by what he wears, from his suit, tie, to even his watch. But today, we'll find out how the Sony Xperia TL defines you as we do a full review of this device. So let's take a closer look at the Sony Xperia TL, available on AT&T. It sports a 4.6-inch reality display, and this is a 720p display, so it's very sharp and vibrant. Now this is powered by a dual-core processor, a 1.5 Snapdragon dual-core processor, not a quad-core processor, and it's got 1 gig of RAM. Now in terms of the style and design, you can see it's got a curved back nature here. If we bring this closer, you can see it's got a micro SIM as well as a micro SD card slot on the right hand side. You do have a power button in the middle of the device. You have your volume rockers below the power button, and you have a camera button. We roll around to the back. We have a 13 megapixel camera. On the right hand side, we do have a micro SD card slot. The battery, of course, is not removable, and you have a 3.5mm jack on the top. Now this is powered by Android, I believe 4.1, but we can easily check. And of course, since this is the featured phone for Skyfall, it does have a bunch of James Bond themes you can actually switch out and change through. So we have one that has all the Bond titles. We can change themes, and you can see that here. Skyfall theme, there's a gold theme, there's a ruby theme, so on and so forth. We head back. We can also change the wallpapers, and you have standard Xperia wallpapers, which have a couple of Bond wallpapers here, which you can pick from and select. So let's head out of that. Now, in terms of the version of Android that you have here, of course, we go into settings, scroll through, about phone. This is running Android 4.0. Now, comes with inbuilt storage on the device, which of course you can expand with micro SD. And total storage space on the device is roughly 16, but it shows 10 here. Now, in terms of the things that Sony has added to the Xperia TL to give you a very differentiated feel, this runs its own skin, but it's actually a very light overlay, so it still feels like it's a standard Android. Once you go into the app tray, you do have a couple of AT&T apps that are included. You also have a Liveware Manager, Office Suite, and then the Walkman. The Walkman app is very interesting, and the reason why I say it is interesting, that is replace the standard Android app player. But you also have an app manager, or you could say a device manager, where if I plugged in my headphones, it will automatically activate an app that I choose. In this case, of course, it's the Walkman, so I can go in there and I can start listening to music that I have. I can go to my music and see what I have in the store. You can see the whole layout is completely different from your standard Android layout. I have playlists, I have my favorites, I have Sense Me channel, which is kind of like music matching, friends music tied to Facebook, artists, as well as albums and tracks. Also comes with an equalizer on here, so I can go to sound enhancements, which I can mess around with the equalizer. I can go through several presets that are available here, or I can just turn it off if I choose. Now, overall, it's a solid music player. It's much better than what you have with the stock Android experience, and I'm glad that Sony added some of that Walkman experience here with the Xperia TL. Now, in terms of the camera itself, as I said, is a 13 megapixel camera, and you can see, I'll just take a few pictures here. One thing about the camera is that whenever you're taking a photo with flash, it does take a while before you to focus with the light to actually take photos, so that is something to take note. But the camera settings are pretty much basic. You can go through the general settings here, and you can select scenes, timer, exposure, white balance, so on and so forth. Turn on and off your flash or red eye reduction. You can go in here and set more scenes, and then you can do scene recognition, panorama sweep, or switch to the front-facing camera. And of course, you can toggle between the camera and the video recorder. once you record, you cannot take photos while recording, so that's something that it's not capable of the device. But the cameras do take decent pictures, and we will show you some footage from the camera with this review.
You can see we are in Russia, and it is snowing intently over here. Recording this 1080p as we get good footage. We get, of course, into our 00 vehicle. Alright, enough of the British accent. You get an 1080p recording of this. Get a good idea. It's about 30 seconds. It's snowing, and that should be fun.
So, what do we think of the Xperia TL? Well, for a device now that's priced at $49.99 on the AT&T network, I think it's a definite solid buy. You've got that reality display, 720p, very vibrant, sharp. You've also got a very smooth operating system running Android 4.0. I'm sorry, I believe 4.1. You've got a 13 megapixel camera. It takes some very decent pictures. It's not spectacular in all respects, but it does a very good job. In terms of feel, battery life on the device is probably around, a heavy user like myself, I probably get about around 14 hours or so. Moderate users will get more than 14 to about maybe 18 hours of battery life, so it's pretty good device. You've got the Walkman feature here, which also gives you some very good audio, good sound while you're using your device, and it feels comfortable. The design has its merits and disadvantages. The curved back allows you to hold the phone firmly and it fits in your hands. The button placement of the power button and the volume rocker is kind of off. I wish the volume rocker was on top, or at least on the other side of the device. Other than that, it's a solid phone, and I do recommend it. And I think if you're looking for something from Sony, or you're looking for a smartphone that right now won't cost you much, but will give you good performance and a lovely display with a very good camera, the Xperia TL is for you. So this is Thunder E signing out.